Demonstrators in Moscow have held a rally to highlight what they see as Russia's decline in the field of science. During Soviet times, Russia was a world leader, conducting groundbreaking research across the scientific spectrum. Now, protesters say a lack of money and an excess of bureaucracy are threatening the country's once proud scientific reputation. Moscow correspondent Norman Hermont reports.
Demonstrations of any kind are noteworthy in Moscow. By leading scientists, they are practically unheard of. But with funding for science research at a crisis point, these physicists, chemists, and biomedical engineers left their labs to protest.
Unfortunately, the people in office, at least the current ones, have a totally different attitude to science.
During the Cold War, Russia wasn't only a world leader in space, it was also a science superpower. As this film from the 1970s shows, researchers were celebrated in Soviet society. But since the end of the USSR, it's been all downhill. Spending has collapsed. Scientists make do with average salaries of about $630 a month.
From my point of view, situation with science in Soviet Union was much better.
During Soviet times, a protest like this would have been unthinkable, not only because it wouldn't have been allowed, but also because well-funded and respected Soviet scientists wouldn't have needed to do this.
At Moscow State University, there's still money for all sorts of experiments and research. But postgraduate students are expected to survive on about $80 a month in grants. Many of Russia's most promising future scientists are leaving.
People are going outside our country, for especially young researchers, constantly.
For years, the government has promised to stem the tide, but there's been little action. And these protesters fear one of the world's great science legacies is slipping away. Norman Hermont, ABC News, Moscow.